Hello, my name is Elena, and welcome to our Science Kids lecture series, a popular science space for children and everyone getting to know science. Today we're joined by physicist and astrophysicist Yuliana Kuznetsova, my colleague from the main astronomical observatory of the National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine. We'll talk about how astronomers search for planets outside our solar system. The lecture is called We Can't See Them, but We Can Hear Them. How do scientists discover planets beyond our solar system? You can watch this webinar thanks to the support of the University of St. Andrews, Scotland. Please send them some hearts and emojis for helping our lecture series return with very exciting new talks. A little spoiler, this whole season is space-themed, lots of lectures about the cosmos. And we're kicking off with a wonderful guest, Emily Feiner, who teaches comparative literature at the School of Modern Languages, University of St. Andrews in Scotland. She also researches the links between science and science fiction. It's thanks to Emily that we've launched this partnership with the university, so we're delighted to hear from her. Emily has even prepared a short greeting in Ukrainian. Emily, hello? Hi. Hello! It's great to see so many people interested in science. My name is Emily Feiner. I teach literature at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. I've traveled to Ukraine many times, and my great-grandfather was born in a small village near Kolomia. I love reading and studying science fiction. When I work with scientists, I learn how science fiction inspires them. I even know a researcher who chose to study exoplanets because as a child, he loved looking at the stars while watching Star Trek. I also know that science fiction writers often spark great ideas for scientists. In our webinars, we'll talk about science fiction and introduce you to scientists I work with in Scotland. I hope you'll enjoy it. Thank you, Emily. Thank you. Friends, let's send some supportive emojis for Emily in the chat. It's so inspiring to hear her speak Ukrainian and to see her learning the language. Amazing! Let this be extra motivation if any of you haven't yet started using Ukrainian more. As Emily mentioned, this season will be unusual. We'll look at how interesting scientific facts, phenomena, and even star systems or planets are portrayed in science fiction. Today is our first webinar combining sci-fi and science, so we'd be very grateful if you share your impressions in the chat, and on YouTube too, if you're watching there. Now it's time to meet our lecturer. With us today is Yuliana Kuznetsova, a research associate in the Department of Substellar and Planetary Systems at the main astronomical observatory of the National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine. Yuliana is interested in astrobiology, in searching for signs of life in the solar system and in exoplanetary systems, and in conducting astronomical observations. Yuliana, hello, we're ready to dive into space. Hello everyone, I'm very happy to be with you today and we're going to explore outer space together. When do you think people first started wondering about planets beyond the solar system? Please write your guesses in the chat and Olena will read them out. I'm curious to hear your ideas. One moment, I'm looking at what you're writing. So many answers. 1534, a very long time ago. 1947. The numbers are all over the place. Thank you for your activity. Yuliana, so when was it? Let's think about how we actually found out. One of the earliest mentions of such planets appears in 1666 in what was likely one of the first science fiction novels, by Margaret Cavendish, Duchess of Newcastle. But at that time, it was still only in people's imagination. Inspired by such ideas, astronomers began speaking seriously about other worlds roughly 2 centuries ago. But there were no powerful telescopes yet, certainly no space telescopes, so they simply didn't have the technical ability to look that far and find anything. People never stopped dreaming. Perhaps the biggest fictional universe today is Star Wars, a wonderful sci-fi saga featuring all kinds of imagined planets. There's even a map of them. That's the fantasy part. What does science say? Planets orbiting other stars are called exoplanets. Exo, meaning outside. The first 3 exoplanets were found around a very unusual star, a pulsar nicknamed Lich, the pulsar PSRB 1257 plus 12. A pulsar is the remnant core of an exploded star that spins hundreds of times per second and emits bright beams of radiation from its poles, like a lighthouse as seen by observers. These 3 planets were named Draugr, Poltergeist, and Phobitor, and were discovered in 1992. Let's compare their sizes. The first is much smaller than Earth, the second several times larger, and the third a bit smaller than the second, but still larger than Earth. The whole system is more compact than ours. 3 years later, in 1995, astronomers discovered the first exoplanet around a sun-like star, a gas giant orbiting 51 Pegasi. Two Swiss scientists, Michel Mayor and Didier Queloz, made the discovery. They later received the Nobel Prize for this. The planet 51 Pegasi b is a gas giant much larger than Earth and about half the mass of Jupiter. Its year is just about 4 Earth days. Why is it so hard to find exoplanets? First, they're very far away. They shine only by reflected light and look tiny and faint next to their bright stars. So astronomers developed clever methods. Doppler/radial velocity method. Not only does the star pull on the planet also tugs on the star, making it wobble slightly. When the star moves away from us, its light shifts toward the red. When it moves toward us, it shifts toward the blue. Measuring this periodic shift lets astronomers determine the planet's mass and orbit. This is how 51 Pegasi b was found. Transit method. When a planet passes in front of its star, it blocks a tiny fraction of starlight. The star's brightness dips a little. If these dips repeat periodically, there's a planet in orbit. This method can reveal a planet's size and distance from its star and can uncover multiple planets in the same system. Transmission spectroscopy. During a transit, starlight filters through the planet's atmosphere. Atoms and molecules leave unique fingerprints in the light. From these, astronomers can tell which molecules are present, for example, water vapor, which makes a planet especially interesting for habitability studies. Direct imaging. In rare cases, we can take actual images of exoplanets. Because the star's glare overwhelms everything, astronomers use an occulting mask/coronagraph to block the star's light. With the star dimmed, much fainter planets nearby can be seen. Some systems with 1 and even 4 imaged planets have been captured this way. With advancing technology, another fascinating approach has emerged, one that enables blind and visually impaired astronomers to conduct research. Sonification. Wanda Diaz-Merced, a blind astronomer and pioneer of sonification, developed tools that convert scientific data into sound, making astronomy accessible and opening new ways to analyze patterns, even in noisy data. She worked extensively at NASA's Center for Astrophysics. How does this sound? As newly discovered exoplanets appear, circles mark their orbits. Color can encode the discovery method, and sound can encode properties like radius or size, a kind of cosmic symphony. A reminder, these are not literal sounds from space. Sound doesn't travel in a vacuum, so space itself is silent. We're mapping data to sound for analysis. Here's another example, using sonification to study a specific exoplanet atmosphere. As the wavelength increases from left to right, the pitch gradually drops. The droplet sounds mark wavelengths, where the spectrum shows water features, indicating water in the planet's atmosphere. Very exciting for habitability studies. Now, how many exoplanets do you think have been discovered to date? Write your guesses in the chat. The numbers in the chat are huge. We need to count the digits. Juliana, what's the scientific answer? How many are known? How many exoplanets have actually been found beyond the solar system? You can check using this very useful open catalog of exoplanets. We'll share the link so you can look up not only the total count, but also details for each planet and its host star. As of September 25th of this year, there were 7,703 exoplanets. Some stars have a single planet, others have 2, 3, 5, there's even a system with 8. There were 5,268 planetary systems in total, with 1,070 systems hosting more than one planet. On NASA's Exoplanet Archive, the number is a bit smaller, just over 6,000, because NASA lists only planets with fully confirmed status. Look at a model of our Milky Way. It's enormous. Estimated 200 to 400 billion stars. Around how many might have planets? And note this circle. It marks the region where most known exoplanets have been discovered so far, within only about 300 light years. That's a tiny patch of the galaxy. There is so much left to explore. And we've got a book recommendation for you, George's Secret Key to the Universe by Stephen Hawking and Lucy Hawking. It follows 12-year-old George and his 9-year-old friend, Coder Emmett, as they set off with a supercomputer to fix a Mars rover and along the way learn how scientists explore the universe and search for Earth-like worlds. It's a great read. Thank you, Juliana, for that incredibly engaging talk. Those who've been with us for a while know we offer optional creative tasks. I also see many first-timers today, so here's how it works. You can invent your own character who will travel through the universe this season. There are no limits on how your character looks. Let your imagination run wild. For each webinar, we'll suggest a new mini-task to continue your character's adventure. You can save the image you see on the screen. We'll also post it in our chat/channel. Print it out or redraw it. Fill in your own adventure and share your results in our Telegram chat. Next time, we'll start by introducing your characters. I remember some from previous seasons, like the Ginger Fox and many others. A few have even become part of the Science Kids identity. I can't wait to see your new heroes and how your stories evolve over the season. Maybe you'll end up with your own short comic or a sci-fi tale. That's the end of the lecture part. Next, we'll play Kahoot. Thank you for your attention and for being with us today, and apologies for the technical hiccups. They happen. I'd also like to announce our next lecture. Uliana Pilipenko will join us on October 7th to discuss the probability of life-bearing planets in the universe. Today we learned how other planets are discovered. Next time, we'll ask what we know about life elsewhere and whether we can estimate the chances of intelligent life. This season, we'll also imagine what aliens might look like, explore the strangest planets, ask whether we could build engines for interstellar travel, how much colonizing Mars might cost, and we'll talk about our own planet too. Climate change and ecology. I'm looking forward to seeing you at our upcoming webinars. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new talks by Ukrainian scientists. Thank you for being with us, and see you soon. Bye-bye.